Live on Rumble, live on YouTube. Good afternoon, hello, welcome to This Date in History, AKTDH. I'm Alexander, UBRU. We will be joined by the Golden Moon here shortly. Today is, of course, Moon's Day, aka Monday, August 3rd. Pardon me, 2026. Got a little too hard on the 3 there. This show is about interesting, important events that happened today throughout the annals of recorded history. We have a 45-page document to go through today, so a little bit on the longer side. Let's get started. In the year 8, Roman Empire, General Tiberius defeated Dalmatians on the river Bathinius. Well, is this why dogs don't like baths, especially Dalmatians? I mean, that'd be a little weird, especially with Dalmatians being around water all the time, what with their stereotypically with firefighters, So, I don't know. 435, deposed Patriarch of Constantinople, Nestorius, considered the originator of Nestorianism, was exiled by Byzantine Emperor Theodosius II into a monastery in Egypt. Well, what is this Nestorianism? Let's take a surface level scratch of this really quick. Alright, so there it is right there. So let's see here. Let's start this really quick. Nestorianism. Get this link really quick. And I'll explain that in a minute. I want to read this first. It is a term used in Christian theology and church history to refer to several mutually related but doctrinally distinct sets of teachings that fall under the umbrella term diophysitism, such as two natures in Christ, human and divine, or two persons in Christ, the man and the world. To extent which those two definitions are, or the extent of to which those two definitions are actually distinct is also debatable. The first meaning of the term is related to the teachings of Christian theologian Nestorius, as according to his immediate opponents at the Council of Ephesus and traditionally used by Miaphysites. The second meaning of the term relates to a set of later theological teachings that were traditionally labeled as Nestorian by Chaldeanians, but different in the teachings of Nestorius in origin, scope, and terminology. Per the latter definition, the Oxford English Dictionary defines Nestorianism as the doctrine of Nestorius, Patriarch of Constantinople, appointed in 428, by which Christ is asserted to have had distinct human and divine persons. So basically splitting up, Jesus from, the spiritual to the human. All that stuff.
Physical.
Yeah, and you were talking about this the other day. Or not the other day, but earlier today when I showed you the title. You didn't know what Nestorianism is?
Yeah.
So this is it right here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, by the way.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Here. I'm doing great.
Great. And how are you doing out there, audience? And I hope you're doing all right. This link and all other links that we collect throughout the show will appear in the underbar description below after the live stream, as per usual, about 5-10 minutes or so. Afterwards. We already have a lot of cool things down there, though, including but not limited to all things on the Coalition, our various sources of music you hear in the background, and a handful of other cool things. But yeah, I just want to read this one really quick. We're not too far in. We're just in our second article, actually. But it's, the previous one, the first one was in the year 8.
Wow.
In which Roman Empire General Tiberius defeated Dalmatians on the river Bathinius. The dogs? I made a whole joke about, dogs and firefighters and all that stuff. So anyway, 881, Battle of Sarcourt, French King Louis III defeated the Vikings. So we have the Battle of Sarcourt in Vimy. Louis III of France defeated the Vikings, an event celebrated in the poem Ludwigsglade. Alright, so if you know of that poem, this is the event. 1031, Olaf II of Norway was canonized as Saint Olaf by Grimketil, the English Bishop of Silesia. I wonder why, though. Was he... I'm going to do a surface level scratch of this article here. This just tells me about Olaf right there. So if anybody wants to look into this article, let us know why he got canonized. Like, what did he do to deserve becoming a saint? Let us know in the comment section. Moving on up to 1108, Louis VI, the Fat, King of France, was crowned in the cathedral in Orleans after his half-brother prevented him from reaching Reims. Wow. Oh. What do you do?
How did he prevent him, I wonder?
Well, put down the wall of celery or something? He was called the Fat. So, you just oh, I don't want to go to Veggieland, I want to go to Candyland, where's Grandma Peanut? 1312, tragedy at Mal Saint Martin. 200 practitioners from Liege lost their lives in the church of Saint Martin, which was set on fire by the Petites, the tradespeople class. So wow, so they sounds like they locked them all in a church and burned the church down. That's terrible. 3047, the city of Calais surrendered after a protracted siege to the English following the English defeat of a French relief fleet in the Battle of Crotoy. It will remain in English hands for more than 200 years. A protracted siege. What is this? Like algebra? Are they algebraing sieging? Like with a protractor or something? Like
I don't know.
You know, I find that rather obtuse, but then it's acute. You know. So 1492. Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue with Juan de la Cosa as second in command, setting sail on his first voyage with 3 ships, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, from Palos de la Frontera, Spain, for the Indies. So here we go.
Yeah.
You know, like you've talked about
famous journey.
Yes, this is how it all began. So, and right here it depicts. There's a guy back here. There's a reason for this. I think it has to do with like
punishment or something.
Well, I mean, like that's one of the reasons. Like I was gonna get to that. At first, I was thinking like as a lookout to make sure that the back of the ship isn't falling apart or whatever. But yes, you are correct. The first thing that came to my mind was, you know, on a ship like this, you know,
Yeah.
now it's not a canoe, but it's not like, you know, the Empire of the Seas.
Right.
So if a crew member, you know, got disorderly, a little too drunk, a little too sea madness, you know, whatever, what do? There's no brig.
Yeah.
So, you know, you put him on the boat, you tie him, you just let him be back there for a while until he figures it out. You know, like a timeout, essentially.
Yeah.
You know,
Doesn't look like it'd be too easy to get him back on board. I mean, that's pretty high up.
Well, no. Like it's like they have like I think maybe they may take the rope over to the side and bring him in.
Yeah.
He's not. They don't drop him off
Right.
from there.
No, I got
they,
that.
They put him in a boat, put him down like an escape boat or whatever, and then just walk the boat to the back and then tie it off or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. What else do we got here? In 1527, first known letter was sent from North America by John Rutt from St. John's, Newfoundland. We have the first letter. So, you know, in America, like,
Huh.
you know,
Where'd it go to though?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, it didn't tell me that. So, but these are depictions. This might be. Well, no, this says Confederate Civil War letters, and this is well before the
Yeah.
Civil War.
Yeah, way
So.
before.
Moving on up to 1596, German astronomer and priest David Fabricius discovered the light variation of Mira, the first variable star. But looking at his name, I wonder if he fabricated it. You know, Fabricius. So, yeah. But let's do an image search of this really quick. And this is, I was debating whether or not I wanted to put this in the thumbnail. But this says David Fabricius discovered Mira. I don't know which one is Mira, or if it's this entire thing in the middle, you know. So,
Yeah, I don't
but
know. It's a cool
well,
picture though.
well, here's that same object, so
Yeah.
it has to be Mira. But that's not a star. That's a stellar object, but it's not a star. It's like a gas thing, or whatever, or like a nebula or a nova or something. I'm not sure. 1601, during the Long War, Austria captured Transylvania in the Battle of Grozni. Well, why is it called the Long War? How long was this war?
That was my first question.
Yeah, Long War.
You call it that, tell us how long.
This is telling me about a video game mod, but that's not the correct one. So 1601. Here we go. Long Turkish War from 1593 to 1606. Well, that's just 15 years. I mean, that is, you know, rather long. You know, you're pretty much an adult by then, but that's not as nearly as long as, like, you know.
Yeah, but there's generation wars.
Yeah.
Multi-generational wars.
Yeah, but why is this?
100-year war.
What?
100-year war.
Well, yeah,
Generational.
well, no, that's what I was going to say. I think, you know, you had the 30 Years' War. I think there might have been a 50. There's 100. You know, and I'm going to look up the longest war ever, but the Long Turkish War specifically. So Long Turkish War. But yeah, it was, or the 13 Years' War was an indecisive land war between the Holy Roman Empire, primarily the Habsburg monarchy, and the Ottoman Empire, primarily over the principalities of Wallachia, Transylvania, and Moldavia. Wow, Wallachia. That's where Vlad the Impaler ruled.
Oh.
Yeah, and he killed his son. So, it was waged from
Nice guy.
Yeah, well, he was called the Impaler for a reason. 1593 to 1606, but in Europe, especially in Hungary, it was called the 15 Years' War. So, yeah, because it lasted for 15 years. But let me look this up here. Longest war in history. So list of conflicts by duration. Let's see if this tells me that start date 774 years. This is saying the Reconquista. No, hold on a second. This is not correct. Duration. There we go. Well, the Reconquista apparently was the longest war, but there was one that was a lot longer than that. But I don't know exactly. Longest war was ever to be fought in human history. Like there's one that was like 1,000 years or something, because like they didn't actually sign a peace document. So even though that they hadn't been fighting for several hundred years, it was like in the 1900s or something when they finally figured it out. They're like, oh wait, we're with these guys? What? For how long? Since when? Well, let's just close it up already. You know?
The Korean War is still going on.
Technically, yes. So, 1635, Tokugawa Ieyasu, the third Tokugawa shogun, established alternate attendants, or also as Sankin Kotai, where feudal daimyo spent 1 year at Edo Castle in Tokyo. Edo later became known as Tokyo, and 1 year at their feudal manor, while their families remained as Tokyo as hostages. The traditional Japanese date is June 21. So the reason why this happened was these were all different governors and all that stuff. So they spent 1 year in the actual area of the lands that they governed, and then they spent 1 year back at the capital, so they don't start thinking of taking anything foolishness, and their families stay at the capital. So that way it's a way to let them remain in power without getting too much power, without getting out of control and everything. So I think that's actually kind of smart. 1640, 2,000 men from the VOC, the Dutch East India Company army, surrounded the city of Malacca. That's not good. 1645, during the 30 Years' War, the Second Battle of Norlington saw French forces defeating those of the Holy Roman Empire. So much for that peace treaty.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1650, Dutch stadtholder William II in Amsterdam reached an accord about a standing army. I'm going to do a surface level scratch of this article really quick. It's just telling me about the attack on Amsterdam. So, coup d'etat, huh? Oh, wait a minute, this is telling me about the same thing. So maybe this is related. So
The same year, so.
Well, no, the same guy, Stadtholder William II. We're talking about Stadtholder William II right here.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if this is before, during, or after this conflict, but let's see here. What is this? Attack on Titan. Amsterdam. Attack on Amsterdam. So I wonder what this accord though ultimately what do they agree on? What's the standing army? Like numbers, technology, what? 1676, Nathaniel Bacon published Declaration of People of Virginia. We do a service level scratch of this article as well. So, Declaration of the People of Virginia. All right, let's look at this. Or simply the Declaration of the People. It was a list of complaints issued by Nathaniel Bacon on July 30th, 1676, in which he proclaimed Virginia's colonial governor, William Berkeley, to be corrupt and expressed his displeasure at what his followers regarded as unjust taxation and the government's failure to provide colonists protection from some tribes of American Indians. The presumed grievances brought about the uprising known as Bacon's Rebellion. This rebellion was regarded as the first of the new colonies as the first of the new colonies. Whether Bacon's rebellion was serving the interests of the colonists or the king continues to be debated. The declaration ended the rebellion as a whole was a long time coming and was the result of a crisis within Virginia's social, economic, and political problems. I guess you could say this was like the predecessor because it was 100 years before our revolution. Yeah. It was the Ember. So
one of many probably.
People of Virginia. Oh yeah, one of many.
Well, I do like bacon.
I do too. It's why neither of us can become Muslim. It's just bacon. It's just too good.
Oh yeah. Can't eat pork.
Yeah, and that turkey bacon. I'll get away from us that fake crap.
Yeah.
1678, Robert LaSalle built the first ship in America, a brig named the Griffin. So Robert LaSalle built the Griffin, the first known ship built on the Great Lakes. There's an image of it right there.
Should have called it the LaSalle.
Yeah, that would have been a cool name, the LaSalle. But a little bit ego trip too, maybe that's why it wasn't called that. But yeah, here's images of that ship, the Griffin, the 45-ton ship built by LaSalle. So, cool. Moving on up to 1692, Battle of Stim Creek. French defeated William III's combined English-Dutch army. So we have the British-Dutch forces under William III defending the city of Brussels, fought an inconclusive battle at Steenkenkork against the French army under the Duke of Luxembourg, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. 1704, English and Dutch fleet under George Rooke and George Byng captured Gibraltar. That's pretty substantial there. Gibraltar.
Yeah. Rock of Gibraltar.
Yeah, Gibraltar, is it at Gibraltar or somewhere because that's right next to the Moroccan coast.
Yeah.
That Spain's having a problem with right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's right down there. Absolutely is.
Yep. 1778, Teatro alla Scala opened in Milan. Okay, what the heck is that? From other source, the theater La Scala in Milan was inaugurated with the premiere of Antonia Salieri's Europa Reconquistata. All right, so it's a play, like a opera house, playhouse. Yeah, that's the interior right there. Like, this is the other side. Like,
wow.
Look at that. Yeah.
That many.
Gorgeous.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That many levels.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, hold on a second. Here we go. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. An artist's rendition, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted. There's a photo somewhere that was really beautiful. I can't seem to find it, but it was this place at night. I think this might have been it. I'm not sure, but like it wouldn't let me save the picture. It wanted me to download it. And I don't like things that automatically open up a download option.
Yeah.
But these are cool photos. That's the actual exterior of the structure right there. That is beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
But like with how enormous this is on the inside, it has to be like several levels underground, because it's not a really the inside is taller than the outside, so it has to have like a couple floors just to fit all of that in there. I don't know. What else we got here? 1795, Treaty of Greenville was signed, ending the Northwest Indian War in the Ohio Country. 2 years later, Emperor Francis I permitted Jews who serve in the military in, quote, the countries of the Bohemian Crown, end quote, to marry non-Jews. So basically, if you're a Jew and you served in the military, you're free to marry whoever you want. Which, I mean, that just makes sense today, but it's, hindsight is 20/20. All the freedoms and liberties and everything that we take for granted today, not just in the United States, but in most of the Western world, 100 years ago, people would have laughed at you for just thinking about that. Now we just take it as, as de facto. Well, people don't realize how quick that can be taken away, Battle of the Nile in 1798, British Admiral Horatio Nelson, here we go again with this guy, forced the remnants of the French fleet to surrender, concluding a decisive victory for the British, who captured or destroyed 11 French ships of the line and 2 frigates. Yeah, this is the 4th or 5th day we've been talking about this.
He was a great admiral.
Yeah, but he
in the British Navy.
Yeah, I mean, look at all those awards and everything. 1811, first ascent of Jungfrau, the 3rd highest summit in the Bernese Alps by brothers Johann Rudolf and Hieronymus Meyer. Hieronymus. Now, first, hold on a second. How can they be brothers if they have 2 different last names?
I don't know.
Once again, it's not unheard of for that today, but back then, people weren't divorcing like that, So, 1829, Gioacchino Rossini's last and greatest opera, William Tell, premiered at Salle des Theatres in Paris. Good old William Tell. 1829, the Treaty of Lewiston was signed by the Shawnee and Seneca peoples, exchanging land in Ohio for land west of the Mississippi River. 1833, HMS Beagle reached the river of the mouth of the Rio Negro, the Black River. So, yeah. Rio means river, Negro means black, in Espanol. Mi hablo poquito Espanol.
And you flip it, so it's the Black River.
Yeah. So if you want chocolate milk, you say leche y chocolate or something. So.
Or negro. Chocolate.
Well, black milk?
Well,
that's rotten. Hey, it's gone off. 1852, the United States' first intercollegiate sporting event took place when the Harvard heavyweight rowing crew defeated Yale by 2 lengths over 2 miles on Lake Winnipesaukee in New Hampshire. So it says here, the race is also known as the first ever stating intercollegiate athletic event. So the first of any sport, intercollegiate, whatever. So Here's obviously not of this in 1852 a photo, but it's it's from a while ago. And yeah, here we go. So. 1859, the American Dental Association was founded in Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls. Slowly I turn.
Step by step. Inch by inch.
I give it a right and a left, and I have right and a right. But yeah,
all I can say is about Dental Association.
Yeah, all I can say is bite me.
God, that high-pitched drill.
Yeah, no, why do you think I have such problems now? I don't want to deal with that. But because of that is the very reason why. I was told this, so I'm not sure how true this is. I haven't looked it up. But dentistry has a very high suicide rate. Yeah, because their entire...
dentists or the patients?
Well, I mean, obviously the dentists, maybe some patients, I don't know. When they see the bill, definitely. But no, with dentists, in all seriousness, because their entire job revolves around pain and people wanting not to see them. It has to be crushing,
I did tell my dentist once, you're charging me all that and you put me in pain.
You're not, but seriously, it's a joke to you, but they deal with that every day, all day, every day, and it wears on you, So next time, really make it a point to thank them, let them know that they're not alone, that they don't have to feel that way with you, It goes a long way whenever you tell people things, like what I told you about the underwear earlier today.
Yeah.
1860, the Second Maori War began in New Zealand. 1 year later, a federal fleet bombarded Galveston, Texas. This has to be during the Civil War, because Texas was part of the Confederacy. 1863, Governor Seymour asked President Lincoln to suspend draft in New York. I don't think he did. 1880, the American Canoe Association, the ACA, not to be confused with ICA, was founded at Lake George in New York City, with the first Commodore being William L. Alden. And sorry for it being so big, this logo. Let's see if I can find a better version of this really quick. So yeah, here it is. So it's the Statue of Liberty, holding a canoe paddle. I like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What else do we got here? 1881, Boers signed the Convention of Pretoria. Transvaal became semi-autonomous. We also have U.S. National Lawn Tennis Association removed the national from its name. So now it's just the U.S. Lawn Tennis Association. Okay. I mean, I guess national is kind of redundant when you already say U.S.
U.S., yeah.
So, 1900, the Firestone Tire and Rubber Company was founded in Akron, Ohio by Harvey Firestone. And, they have been causing blowouts ever since. Here's good old Firestone. You remember that whole scandal with the blowout thing?
No.
Because Firestone, apparently they were, underfilling or whatever, and customers weren't, checking, so they just drove the car off the lot, and then they were having blowouts. People died. It was a whole thing. Oh, wow, I'm surprised. They even made fun of it. You remember Scary Movie?
Yeah.
Well, there's this one scene. Oh, hold on a second. Firestone. Not Ace, but the movie, Scary Movie. The stupid, mock film and all that stuff. So there's this one scene where the wheelchair guy is in a fight with the ghost or whatever, and he has a blowout. And don't mind the stuff on his head. That's a bird shit on him. Right there. You saw how his tire exploded? So it shows here.
Yeah.
He had a Firestone tire on his wheelchair. And it was a real big deal. They were making fun of the blowout problem. So, what else do we got here? 1903, Macedonian rebels in Kosovo proclaimed the Kosovo Republic, which existed for only 10 days before Ottomans laid waste to the town.
Oh.
1904, British journalist Francis Younghusband visited the forbidden city of Lhasa. Well, I mean, when he got to a certain age, did he have to change his name to Old Husband? Was he even a husband?
Wonder why it's a forbidden city.
Were you reading this? No. I actually left a comment. Why was it forbidden?
No, I didn't read it.
Wow! So you had the same thought I did. But that is a good question. Forbidden city of Lhasa. Oh, that's why. It's one of these. The forbidden city in Hong Kong. The ancient throne of power for China and everything. Well, this looks like a throne of power.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so that's probably why it was a forbidden
You're
city.
forbidden to go up there.
Probably, yeah. I mean, like, unless you're,
Yeah.
like, you know, an indigenous or somebody who needs to be
Well,
up
you'd
there.
have to be spiritually enlightened or something.
Not necessarily. No. Like, the forbidden city in Beijing is the capital of China, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. Well, let me show you. Beijing Forbidden City. Now, you can visit this today as a tourist and everything,
Yeah.
but up until, I don't know when,
Yeah.
like 100 years ago,
Yeah.
this was the seat of the government.
Yeah.
This was the forbidden city because only people in the government could enter the city. It was forbidden to anyone outside,
Yeah.
hence the name Forbidden City.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a spiritual thing, it was a government thing. So maybe it was spiritual with the other one that we were...
It could be, yeah.
Lhasa,
Who
or
knows?
maybe it was government, I don't know. But it was something like that. 1906, the Washington Nationals' Tom Hughes became the first MLB pitcher to win a 1-0 extra innings game with his own home run in the 10th inning against the St. Louis
Good for
Browns.
him.
Wow, they really could, you know, they really count everything as a record. He became the first pitcher to do this very specific series of events.
Yeah, he pitched a
Weird.
shutout and hit a one-run home run.
Yeah. 1907, Emperor Wilhelm of Germany met with Tsar Nicholas of Russia to discuss Germany's plan to build a railroad to Baghdad. This discussion helped move Russia towards Britain and eventually the Triple Entente. Okay. Wasn't the Triple Entente? No. Well, no, the Triple Entente were the bad guys. No, they weren't. That was the Triple Alliance. Huh, I guess the Triple Entente were the original good guys. Right before World War One. Okay, I don't know. Anyway, 1907, Judge Kennesaw Mountain Landis, before he became a baseball guy, fined the Standard Oil of India a record $29.4 million. 1907, $29.4 million for illegal rebating to freight carriers. The conviction and fine were later reversed on appeal. Man, like, you know, that's like the Alex Jones of
Wow,
lawsuits of the 1900s.
That's serious money.
Yeah, like, you know, let's see, inflation calculator. Let's see if I can find inflation calculator. Is this the? Oh, that's just from 1913. I need 1907. Inflation calculator. Is this a good one? Until how far back does this go? Not even there. Hold on a second. 1907. It's 29 for that. 2026 value. So let's see if this even brings up anything. So here we go. This gives me something. Okay. So 29,400,000. So how much do you think it is worth today?
Today, I'm going to say 30 million.
Yeah.
I'm going to say $280 million.
Okay, we are at $1,488,170.21.
Wow.
A billion. Wasn't that did they charge Alex Jones $1 billion or $1 trillion?
Not $1 trillion.
Okay, so $1 billion.
I don't know what the charge was. It was a lot of money.
So this my analogy was correct. This was Alex Jones.
level.
Yeah. Well, actually, Alex Jones would have been on whatever Standard Oil level.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because that one came first.
That-
Wow, that's remarkable.
That was nuts what they did there.
Yeah. Well, this is nuts too.
Yeah.
So, 1908, French brothers Amédée and Jean Boyessoni discovered the fossil remains of a nearly complete 60,000-year-old Neanderthal man known as the Old Man of La Chapelle at La Chapelle aux Saints in France. Let's see if we can get it. Here's teeth. And I guess like that's a spine, like piece or spine thing. I don't know. Maybe that's another tooth. I don't know. This is just a reconstruction of what they thought this guy looked like just from the tooth. Okay. 1909, MLB umpire Tim Hurst instigated a riot by spitting in the face of A's second baseman Eddie Collins, who questioned a call. Hurst was subsequently banned for life, as he should. Why is there so much spitting in baseball? There's no crying in baseball, but you can spit. That's another liquid coming out of your face. Why is that happening so often? That's weird.
Well, nobody's spitting on anybody else except for this
Well,
one.
I'm not. No, I'm not
But they
saying.
spit on the ground.
Well, I'm making a joke, but like this is
Oh.
like the third, fourth, fifth article we've covered so far of somebody spitting on somebody specifically in baseball.
I don't remember that, but okay.
Yeah. Well, since the start of the year.
Oh, okay.
You know, since the start of the year of this year, at some point we've had 3, 4, 5, 6 articles. This is the latest one of somebody spitting on somebody else in baseball. It's weird. So once again, I ask, why is there so much spitting in baseball? What's going on? 1913, Wheatland Hop riot on a California farm killed 4 people in one of the first farm labor disputes. 1914, Belgium rejected the demand to allow free crossing for German army, leading to their invasion hours later. Okay, that was the ultimatum. We're talking about when Belgium declined Germany's ultimatum, but didn't tell us what.
Yeah.
And they couldn't figure it out. Well, that was the ultimatum. Let us through, or we're coming through. And they did. Like, come up there, come up here. Well, they went up there. Remember that from Bill Burr?
Yeah.
That the whole when the athletes just started swinging, knocking entire rows of these civilians, off and per swing and all that stuff. But yeah, Germany invaded Belgium and declared war on France, beginning World War I. Germany declared war on France, while Romania declared its neutrality. So, 1914 as well, British Foreign Secretary Edward Grey famously remarks, quote, "The lamps are going out all over Europe. We shall not see them lit again in our lifetime," end quote. Oh boy, were you not wrong. Over a century later, we're still fighting the same shit, arguably. We're still in the same crap. We had a lull between the 2 world wars, but then everything went nuclear, and we're not swinging at each other just because we know if it gets too much, we can end everything.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for nuclear weapons, I think we'd still be at each other's throats violently, as we were in 1914, as we were in 1940. Nuclear weapons just stopped everything for all the wrong reasons. 1914, first unofficial trip through the Panama Canal made by the cargo vessel SS Cristobal.
Unofficial, huh?
Yeah, what makes it unofficial? It wasn't mediated or something?
Probably they tested it
Yeah.
before they had the ceremony.
So testing means it didn't float?
No, it went through.
Yeah, but so what makes this unofficial? How do you unofficial when it happened? How do you, it makes no sense.
It hadn't officially opened, so it's unofficial.
Well, open my ass. No, don't open my ass. It makes no sense. 1914, World Alliance for Promoting International Friendship Through Churches was formed. Yankees catcher Les Nunemacher threw out 3 Tigers runners at second base during the first inning. That's a 3-2-1 right there. The only time in the 20th century. Okay. 1918, Siberian intervention. British Middlesex Battalion were the first Allied force to arrive in Vladivostok. All right. For whatever, we're doing something involving Siberia. It sounds like Japan is doing something up there, with Russia or whatever. 21, first aerial crop dusting in Troy, Ohio, to kill caterpillars. And thus it begins.
Caterpillars eat food.
Well, no, all the pesticides.
Yeah.
Monsanto, GMOs, Roundup, Agent Orange, Smart Dust. And what was that thing I showed you earlier? Active Dust or whatever it was. That's how all this starts. This is ground zero. MLB Commissioner Kennesaw Mountain Landis, after he was a judge, handed out lifetime bans to 8 Chicago White Sox players accused in the Black Sox scandal, despite their acquittal by a Chicago jury, or a Chicago court. So we spoke about that a little bit yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty interesting how we got 2 Kennesaw Mountain Landis. One when he was a judge and did that huge lawsuit, and then now because of this. So, I'm reading these, and it sounds like Kennesaw Mountain Landis was an extreme hothead who just way overdid it, because years apart, but on the same calendar day, these are extremes. These people, they were acquitted, they still got banned for life. That one guy got fined for the equivalency of what's $1 billion today, later overturned. So it sounds like he swings too hard and then pulls back,
Yeah. Well, they were banned for life for gambling, betting.
But they were acquitted.
Yeah, well, it's the perception. They're saying, we can't have them.
It's not perception when it's found in a court of law that they're innocent. Now you can't, now it almost seems unjustified. If they're acquitted, then that's it. But now you're still going after them? No, that's not right. Because what's the point of having a court of law if we don't respect it, 23, baseball games were canceled following the death of U.S. President Warren G. Harding. And Vice President Calvin Coolidge became the 30th U.S. President upon the death of President Warren G. Harding. We spoke about that yesterday.
Yep.
24, Dutch track cyclist Piet Moskowitz won his 4th consecutive UCI World Sprint Championship in Paris. 4th consecutive. Not just 4th, but in a row.
Yes.
That's awesome.
That's what consecutive means.
Yeah, well, I know. I'm not, once again, I'm mainly talking to the audience, so, to build a dramatic effect. 25, the last U.S. troops left Nicaragua. They were there since 1912. 1 century ago, in 1926, traffic lights installed at Piccadilly Circus in London. What is this? Oh, we'll get to him in a minute here. Yeah, these obviously are... This right here, this is 1935, so this is 9 years after, and this might even be an AI-generated image. I'm not sure. This all looks weird. So, and this looks way too clear of a photo for 35. So this is something has been altered one way or another with that photograph. So I don't have any actual examples of those traffic lights at that time. And this is and the original, like the very first traffic lights, actually were modeled after a train. They had like little, the little things that come out.
I remember arms that come up.
Yeah. Because those were modeled after trains. That the traffic lights for trains around. Like, those were the very first traffic lights and everything. 28, Ray Berbuti won the 400 meter in 47.8 seconds, I guess, at the Amsterdam Olympics, the only individual track event won by a Stadian at those games. So, wow. Only time, in 28 at least. And we're going to be doing, medal sweeps here in a minute. 1930, for the second time in the year, Phillies outfielder Chuck Klein hit safely in 26 straight games, but the run was halted in the second game of a doubleheader against the Boston Braves. 32, official automatic timing and photo finish camera for track events were used for the first time at the Los Angeles Olympics, instrumental in changing the 110-meter hurdles final. Review gave Donald Findlay bronze ahead of Stadium Jack Keller. So photo finish.
Yeah.
And then now we have
third place.
Well, no, not just third place, but now we have these like microsecond things.
Now it's totally different.
Yeah.
I'm just saying this was third place.
Third place?
That's what it said, bronze medal or something.
Oh, yeah. Bronze ahead. Yeah, third place, correct. 33, Philadelphia A's defeat New York Yankees 7-0 for the first time in 308 games. Bronx Bombers were shutouts. Okay, I guess it's a nickname, I guess, for something. 34, failed artist from Austria, Adolf Hitler merged the office of German Chancellor and President, declaring himself Führer, or leader. We covered that a little bit yesterday when he did that. And here we go, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Stadium sprinter Jesse Owens won the 100 meter in 10.3 seconds in front of Adolf Hitler in a famous race at the Berlin Olympics, the first of 4 gold medals he won at the game. Pissing off even an already angry Adolf Hitler. So, defeating Ralph Metcalf at the Berlin Olympics. Oh yeah, I want to image search this. I want to show something like that kind of blew my mind. So, check out the guy on the right.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's good old Jesse Owens, with his laurels of victory and everything. Whoever the hell this guy is. Looks like he's from Japan. That looks like the Japanese flag right there on his chest. But then straight up, that guy has to be German or something.
Of course.
And look how worried he looks. Like, he looks like he's about to get shot. Even Jesse Owens, he's just like, I'm in Germany now. I hope I don't get killed, by the freaking SS, because he's on their land right there. I mean, 1936 as well, a fire wiped out Kursa 2 in the Meshuggah lowlands, Ryazan Oblast, Russia, killing 1,200 and leaving only 20 survivors. 1,200 dead. Wow. 1940, German occupiers in France imposed censorship rules on films, requiring approval prior to exhibition and forbidding the depiction of German losses in World War I. Huh. It's kind of stupid. Italian troops invaded British Somalia. The Italian forces began the invasion of British Somaliland. Okay. Lithuanian SSR was accepted in the USSR. The seaplane Clear made the first British passenger flight to the U.S. Seems kind of late, 1940. For this is the first time a passenger from Britain flew an airplane to the U.S.
Well,
30 years after.
Commercial.
I know.
That's a different deal.
Well, that's what I'm wondering though. Like, and I'm just gonna do a surface level scratch of this article really quick. Well, maybe it was. I'm just wondering, like, is this the first ever, or just for this company or craft, or what? So that's going to take some digging. So if anybody would care to, let us know in the comments section, to answer that question. I'm just doing a quick scan for comments. Nothing there. What else we got here? Mom's time. 1941, gas in the form of petroleum sales were limited in the U.S. as part of wartime rationing. 41 as well, German troops conquered Roosevelt in Russia. The New York Yankees, Joe DiMaggio, went 0 for 4 in a 6-2 loss in the St. Louis Browns, ending his on-base streak of 74 games, second longest in MLB history. Nice. 43, General George S. Patton slapped a U.S. GI in a hospital, accusing him of cowardice. We got that one. So here we are, right here with this Patton stuff. Now I want to.
That's the movie, of course.
Yeah. Now this is from the action. This is from the movie.
Yeah.
Starring George C. Scott. I'm just going to play a couple excerpts of here, and I want to point out a couple points. So, the actual photo here, that's not the guy he slapped.
Oh.
It says here, Lieutenant General George S. Patton visits the 12th evacuation hospital to award decorations to the wounded. And that's why, because I never really understood, why he was here, what's going on, but he was here to award decorations to the wounded. You can see there's a Purple Heart right there. He put that on his pillow and everything. And he's sitting there he's like, man, this is terrible and everything. There's some other guy, he goes up and he talks to him and everything. And let me just play this section here. So he gets up and he's like, all these, people, they're suffering and everything. Yeah. Meanwhile, there's this one guy here, and you can't hear him that well because I have the sound down a little bit. But he's crying and everything. So let me go back here really quick.
What's the matter with you?
What's the matter with you?
I guess I just can't take it, sir.
It's my nerves, sir. I just can't take it, sir. So, and he's just, he's just trying to figure out what's wrong with this guy and everything.
Goddamn cop.
He's just a coward. He's just nothing more than a modern day liberal. Toughen up. You have people missing body parts in here, and you're going to cry over the sound of shelling? Get a gun and get out there, you coward!
You have a young bastard sitting here crying before these brave men have been wounded in battle.
War is hell, okay? You could sit there with your feelings and say, oh, yada, yada, but at the end of the day, your feelings will not stop an enemy from putting a bullet through your head. You will stop the enemy from putting a bullet through your head by putting a bullet through their head. That's how it is. That's war. War is hell. And, you can't blame Patton for being like this.
What's wrong with him? I won't have sons of bitches afraid to fight stinging up this place of honor. You're going back to the front, my friend. You may get shot, you may get killed, but you're going to have to fight.
Yeah, so I'm not going to play any more of this because, but I made my point.
Yeah.
And look around. Now you need safe places and cry corners in your no-no square. Get away from me with that, Grow a pair. You don't know how hard it is. 43, Nazi occupiers attacked the city of Orel and left it in flames. 44 as well, Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camp gassed 400 Romani people. Now, I find this a little disturbing because on the other source it says Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camp gassed 4,000 gypsies, which probably are Romani people and everything. But the fact that they didn't call them gypsies, you see, this is what really bothers me with the Holocaust. It wasn't only Jews. It was primarily Jews, and that's the first thing, probably the only thing most people think. But it was the mentally disabled. It was the physically handicapped. It was, gypsies. Basically, if you didn't have blonde hair, if you didn't have blue eyes, if you weren't white, if you weren't Aryan, you're gone. It doesn't matter what you are. If you weren't Aryan, Jew, otherwise, it doesn't matter what you are, you're gone. And for some reason, the Holocaust has been turned into only Jews. Well, it wasn't just them. Share the victimization. It almost seems as if they're trying to be the only victim, so they're the only ones who get the just sympathy that all these victims need. I don't know. Moon's time, 1946. Belgian government of Hussermen formed. Santa Claus Land, the world's first themed amusement park, opened in Santa Claus, Indiana, United States. I do have an image of that. There it is, right there. This is it's a very large image, everything. But I'll actually image search this really quick to show you. Here's that image we were just looking at in its entirety. But yeah, Santa Claus Land right there.
How about that? Huh?
Yeah. And there's a city of Santa Claus in Indiana, apparently. So, interesting. Here's a map. Whatever happened to Santa Claus Land? So they had a whole thing. It was a theme park and everything.
Yeah.
Well before Disneyland, 1946. 48, Stadium divers Vicky Draves, Zoe Ann Olsen, and Patsy Elsinore went 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. In the U.S. clean sweep of the medals in the women's 3-meter springboard at the London Olympics. 48 as well, a stadium clean sweep of the medals in the men's 3-meter springboard diving at the London Olympics with Bruce Harlan winning gold, Miller Anderson silver, and Sammy Lee bronze. Another stadium sweep of the medals in the men's shot put at the London Olympics with Wilbur Thompson taking gold, ahead of teammates Jim Delaney and Jim Fuchs. 48 as well, Franklin D. Roosevelt advisor Alger Hiss was accused of being a communist. So Whittaker Chambers accused Alger Hiss of being a communist and a spy for the Soviet Union. So that's a pretty big, accusation, especially back then. 48, we're talking about, the man, the myth, the legend, Satchel Paige himself. Negro League veteran pitcher Satchel Paige, at the age of 42, made his first start for the Cleveland Indians and went on 7 innings in a 5-3 win against Washington. 42 years old, he's still playing.
Yeah.
Well,
he's a rookie.
Ah.
In the major leagues.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right.
There's no blacks before him.
Yeah. Was he the one who broke the color barrier?
No.
Was that Reggie Jackson?
No, not Reggie Jackson.
What?
With the Dodgers, I can't think of his name right offhand.
Broke the MLB color barrier. Baseball color.
Yeah, there he is.
Who is that guy? Jackie Robinson.
Yeah.
Well, I was kind of right, Reggie Jackson. Yeah, I got the Jack part.
So what year did he break it? Does it say?
I don't know.
Okay. Don't worry about it.
July, he broke the color barrier in the American League on July 5th, 1947. 11 weeks after Robinson played his first game with the Dodgers.
Okay.
Huh. Okay.
So he's right after.
Yeah. 49, Basketball Association of America, the BAA, and National Basketball League, the NBL, merged to form the National Basketball Association, the NBA, with Maurice Podoloff elected as the head of the new league. All right. 49, Republic of Indonesia proclaimed a ceasefire. I wonder what conflict was going on over there. 52, the 15th Summer Olympic Games closed at the Helsingin Olympia Stadium in Helsinki, Finland. 53, Frank Blair became news anchor of the Today Show. You remember Frank Blair?
No.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll unmark that.
My time.
Well, no, you were alive, but you weren't really having cognitive thoughts by then.
6, 7 years old.
We're still waiting on that, actually. So, cognitive thoughts, that is. So. 54, the Convair XFY-1 Pogo, a VTOL, a vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, made its first successful flight. And that is what this craft is. And yes, judging by, the deck chair wheels, that's how it lands and takes off.
Yeah.
That's not a picture of it already, what it is in the air, but I image searched this article really quick, and here it is on the ground. So that's, you climb up a ladder, you get into it, and you're sitting on your back looking up, and then you're supposed to, how it works is you fly up, and then you gain enough speed for that way for you to, just do that. So, you go up and you get enough speed for lift to occur when you do the crest. Now,
coming down seems to be the hard part.
Well, I was going to get to that. You have to slow down and somehow get yourself vertical, and then, it kind of looks like there's it doesn't look like it bends that well, but that's an exhaust right there.
Exhaust, yeah.
So, but yeah, thankfully we have better VTOL now. Or actually, wait a minute. That's
something entirely different.
That's the same thing.
That is, yeah.
But
that's in the air.
But where do these wheels come from?
Why are those wheels up there?
They're just. But how does that work? I mean, there's the apparatus to get onto it. Because that almost seems like, that's how you land, but where is it? I'm not seeing it. Weird. I don't know. 1955, Belgian middle distance runner Roger Mons broke Rudolf Harbig's long-standing 800-meter world record, 1 minute 45.7 seconds in Oslo, Norway. I wonder how long it was standing. 55, Hurricane Connie began pounding the U.S. for 11 days, making landfall in North Carolina and traveling to the Great Lakes. Yeah. 1 year later, stadium sprinter Willie Williams set a 100-meter world record at 10.1 in Berlin, Germany. I wonder if this 10-second, barrier has been broken yet. 58, MLB Baltimore Orioles manager Paul Richards was ejected from both games of a doubleheader at Tiger Stadium in Detroit, Michigan. What did he do? Both games.
No doubt.
Well, probably. 58, USS Nautilus reached the North Pole, becoming the first submarine to achieve a submarine transit of the North Pole. Other source says the world's first nuclear submarine, USS Nautilus, became the first vessel to complete a submerged transit of the geographical North Pole. Specifically, geographical. Do you know the difference between geographical and magnetic?
No.
Geographical is fixed. This is the North Pole, that's it right there. But magnetic moves around it. At one point, the magnetic North Pole was somewhere in Michigan or something. It moves around. So, and that's, it's constantly in motion. So, if you go to the magnetic North Pole, you will never get there unless you get to a place you know where it will be. Otherwise, you will always be chasing it because it's always moving. It's fluid.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And there's a GIF. Here's a GIF. Check this out. This is actual video from 1959. Really quick clip.
Yeah.
That's them at the North Pole. They broke through the ice.
Yeah.
There's right there. That's awesome.
That is.
1959, the American League defeated National League 5-3 in Game 2 of the All-Star Baseball doubleheader to boost the player pension fund at LA Memorial Coliseum.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. 50 were killed in uprising in Guinea-Bissau. Portugal State Police Force PIDE fired upon striking workers in Bissau, Portuguese Guinea, killing over 50 people. Shame on you. 1960, for the only time in MLB history, teams exchanged managers as Detroit trade Jimmy Dykes, 44-52, for Cleveland's Joe Gordon, 49-56. Okay. 1960, Lee Petty and his sons Richard and Maurice raced against each other for the first and only time at Dixie Speedway in Birmingham, Alabama. Richard finished second, Lee third. So, 1960 as well, Niger gained independence from France. All right. Pittsburgh Steelers of the NFL defeated the Toronto Argonauts of the CFL 43-16 in an exhibition game at CNE Stadium in Toronto. That's lopsided right there. 43-16.
Yeah.
That's a drubbing. 61, the Pittsburgh Pirates rout St. Louis Cardinals 19-0, the largest lopsided shutout in National League history. Wow. One shutout to another. It's 1962, 29th Chicago College All-Star Game at Soldier Field. Green Bay 42, All-Stars 20. What's with these disparities? Before 65,000 attendees. That's 22 more. They could have scored 22 and them 0, and they'd be right where they are right now. Wild. 62, New York Met Frank Thomas hit his 6th home run in 3 games. That's impressive.
Yeah.
63, Beatles' final performance at the Cavern Club in Liverpool, England. Didn't we talk about that a little bit yesterday? Or something about the Cavern Club or something?
We may have, but this would be their final performance, and they just obviously became way too popular, went worldwide or whatnot.
Yeah. Or we were talking about something like their first performance at somewhere.
Yeah,
I don't know. 1963, Warner Brothers Records released a single of Alan Sherman's novelty song, Hello Mother,
Oh, yeah.
Hello Father, a letter from camp, set to the music of Amilcar Ponchielli's Dance of the Hours from his 1876 opera La Gioconda. And, there's that submarine right there. Here it is right here.
Enjoy the 60 fastest, funniest minutes on TV, The Alan Sherman Show.
Look like George Goldberg. I can't see him.
Hello, Maya.
No, it's not.
Hello, Maya. Here I am.
is very entertaining. And they say we'll have some fun if it stops raining.
I'm gonna stop it there, but this whole song is really cool. I urge you guys, to after the show, there's a link to go watch this because like he keeps rhyming. It's a hoot. Like
Out in the forest where I might get eaten by a bear. Take me home. I promise I will not make noise or mess the house.
I think there's one of the lines in here. I was trying to find it here. But something about do you remember John Harvey? Yeah, they're already arranging the search party or something like that. It's like, man, this place sounds horrible, So, moving on up to 1966, South African government banned records by the Beatles.
Wow.
I actually agree with them with that.
Why?
Look, after the Beatles said they're bigger than Jesus, Beatles can just go jolly well F themselves right up, the fan.
Ban them? No.
Well, I don't know. 1967, 45,000 U.S. soldiers were sent to Vietnam. Here we go.
Yeah.
We also have James Law rode the entire New York subway system in 22 hours and 12 minutes. I'm sure you can't do it in that quickly anymore. It's just a lot more expansive, and you probably get stabbed by a migrant by now. 1968, 100,000 people attended a 2-day Newport Pop Festival in Costa Mesa, California.
Yeah.
Performers included Alice Cooper, Canned Heat, the Chambers Brothers, Country Joe and the Fish, Paul Butterfield Blues Band, Sonny and Cher, Steppenwolf, Tiny Tim, The Animals, Grateful Dead, Jefferson Airplane, Quicksilver Message Service, and the Birds, whatever. And Cher, man, that's not a good picture, lady. 69, Cincinnati Reds with 25 hits and 10 runs on the 5th edge Philadelphia Phillies, 19-17 at Connie Mack Stadium. That's close. 1970, Hurricane Celia became the most expensive Gulf storm in history, but it's not going to tell us how much. So I'm going to look this up. Hurricane Celia. All right. No, not telling me any damages. So there you go. $930 million, 1970s money.
Ooh.
Okay. So let's do this again. Well, first off, I'm going to put this in the underbar section really quick. Hurricane Celia. Throw that in there really quick. Okay, so we are talking about
How much?
$930 million. So let's see here.
$2.5 billion.
1970. Where's my money? 2026. So I'm just getting this here right there. Okay, so we are at how much was it again? 930 million. So 930,000 million. 1, 2, 3, 2. Okay. All right. So what was you said? 2 billion something?
Yeah.
8 billion.
Whoa.
$4,519,587.63. $8 billion.
Wow. My $2.5 billion was way off.
Well, at least you're trying to get there. Miriam Hargrave of Yorkshire passed her driving test on her 40th try. By then, no, there has to be a cutoff.
Yeah, you're
if
permanently
you've done
banned.
it 5 times, okay, what in the SpongeBob is this crap?
At least wait a year. You can't come back for a year after 5 times.
Well, that's what it is now.
I don't know what it is.
Well, after your first try, you can only do an actual physical driving exam behind the wheel once every 6 months.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Right now, yeah. Well, because I did the written exam, I've done the driving exam.
Yeah.
I've run into a bunch of BS like that. One time
Yeah.
that one DMV I went to, they were only passing black people and failing everybody else.
Yeah.
And then they had to shut down the whole thing and all that stuff. And then I was later oh, blah, blah, you actually passed. Here you go. Here's your license.
Yeah.
Great. And that was a written exam. So actually, they didn't give me my license, but they allowed me to go actually drive and test. But yeah, but
I remember that.
that's why I know this, because I had to do this multiple times. And if you failed your driving exam, you had to wait 6 months before they let you in again. So maybe because of this bitch. 1970, the second NFL work stoppage ended with the NFL and Players Association agreeing to a 4-year, $19.1 million deal. We also have Paul McCartney announced the formation of the group Wings, consisting of himself, his wife Linda McCartney, and former Moody Blues guitarist Denny Laine. 72, British Prime Minister Edward Heath proclaimed an emergency crisis due to a dock strike. 72, Shozen-ji International Zen Dojo was founded by Omori Sogen Roshi in Hawaii. We also had the U.S. Senate ratify the anti-ballistic missile treaty with the Soviet Union to limit the use of missile systems capable of defending against missile-delivered nuclear weapons. Okay. 73, flash fire killed 51 at an amusement park on the Isle of Man, the UK. That's tragic, and I don't mean to take a piss, but when I first heard about that, it made me think of this. It was the IT crowd, a great show.
Julia told me the story.
So what happened?
Her parents died in a fire.
Oh, God, I'm sorry, that's horrible.
Yeah, it was a fire. At sea parks.
Yeah, that's my reaction. A fire at Sea Park, basically like SeaWorld. How's there a fire at SeaWorld? Like, that's the whole joke. She lied to him. She made it up, so, Sea Parks. So just throw this link if anybody wants to see this scene. IT Crowd, great show. So, what else do we got here? 73, Tamla Motown Records released Inner Versions, the 16th studio album by Stevie Wonder, including the hits Higher Ground and Don't You Worry About a Thing. 74, Jeff Baxter, guitarist and founding member of Steely Dan, quit the band and joined the Doobie Brothers.
Oh.
Now, do you remember, we've talked about every time this band comes up, I bring this up and you've forgotten by then. Do you know the inspiration for the name of the band, Steely Dan?
I don't.
There is some science fiction book or whatever, and in it there is a steampunk mechanical, marital aid, a vibrator.
Oh, yeah.
Called Steely Dan.
Okay.
And they named their band after this fictitious marital aid. You don't believe me? Go look it up. Seriously, that's how the band got its name. 75, Louisiana Superdome football stadium was dedicated in New Orleans, Louisiana, and there it is right there. Good old Superdome, which
football, no less.
Yeah, and it's been demolished since then, right? Like I think it's.
I don't know.
I don't know either. These all look rather old photos. Oh, that's not the Superdome at all. How the Superdome became in Louisiana, but that's not the Superdome. It has a roof. Like, there's no roof. Oh. 75, Poland and West Germany reached an accord about returning ethnic Germans. Okay. 2 riverboats collided and sunk in China's West River, killing 500 people. Wow. Chartered Boeing 707 crashed in Atlas Mountains near Agadir, Morocco, while descending in heavy fog for a scheduled landing at Angzini Airport, killing 188 people. Radio Shack in 77 introduced the TRS-80 personal computer, the Tandy, I think. Within weeks, thousands were ordered. One of the world's first mass-produced personal computers.
That was Kimberly's first computer at a work she had.
Yeah, the good old Tandy. We covered the Tandy yesterday, right? Like, here you go. For a low price of $600 in 1977 money.
It's a lot of money.
So. 1977 as well, the United States Senate hearing on MKULTRA. And I'm just going to look this up really quick. I'm not going to discuss this a lot, but I advise, I urge, I implore you to look into MKUltra, because what we have done to our own citizens makes Adolf Hitler look like Jesus Christ. So, the U.S. government is just despicable. 78, 11th Commonwealth Games opened in Edmonton, Canada. I wonder what those games were. I mean, I have a note there, but we're already 4 minutes over our hour. It's still in the 70s, so we got to keep this going. 79, fastest Jai Alai shot at 188 miles per hour, 302.5 kilometers per hour by Jose Arrieto at Newport, Jai Alai, Rhode Island. You know what Jai Alai is?
No idea.
You do, but you don't realize that this is the name of it. This thing.
Highlight.
Oh, Highlight. Okay.
Oh, now I know what it is. I've seen it before.
Okay. I was mispronouncing it. That's why you couldn't.
Yeah.
The Highlight. 188 miles per hour with those scoops.
I saw a tournament. Yeah, I saw a tournament in Vegas. It was awesome.
Yeah,
many years ago.
This almost looks like
And the way they whip it around and they end up laying themselves out after it's awesome.
Yeah. I'm just gonna here we go. Highlight.
Highlight.
Awesome. I just want to see what this looks like. The history of highlight. Oh, here we go. Wow.
Highlight is advanced.
So, like, do you catch it in that scoop? Or
Yeah,
like,
catch it
finesse.
and
Wow.
throw around.
It's fast.
And then the other guy's
The
got
ball
to
go
catch it.
between 150 and 170 miles per hour.
You don't, then you lose points. The other guy gets points.
Wow, so you have to catch a ball traveling at 100 plus miles per
Yeah.
hour? Screw that.
Fire it back.
Screw that. It's 1980. Al Kaline, Duke Snyder, Chuck Klein, and Tom Yowie were inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Isn't alkaline like a type of chemical?
Alkaline.
Oh, alkaline. The 22nd Summer Olympic Games closed at the Grand Arena of the Central Lenin Stadium in Moscow, Russia. 81. 13,000 air traffic controllers, PATCO, began their strike. U.S. President Ronald Reagan stated during a press conference, quote, "If they do not report for work within 48 hours, they have forfeited their jobs and will be terminated." Reagan
fired them all.
smash. Tear down this wall.
He fired them all.
Yes, he did. He indeed fired them all. We also have Senegalese opposition parties under the leadership of Mamadou Dia launched the Anti-Imperialist Action Front, Sugli Ryu Mi. 1982, pitching coach Clyde King became the New York Yankees' third manager of the season, replacing Gene Michael after the Yankees were swept at home by the Chicago White Sox. What in the name of the year of the four emperors is this? You know, within 1 year, third manager now? Really going through them.
Yeah.
83, John Stain of South Bend, Indiana, built a 3.91 meter or 12.83 foot house of cards.
Wow.
Huh.
Fun.
Like, that's not a house of cards.
No.
This is not just giving me houses. This is not giving me the specific house of cards. Okay, I'm just going to look this up here really quick. It's not... okay. Tallest house of cards built. So that's something else. Anyway, 1984, 17-year-old Australian swimmer John Sabin staged a withering finish to upset hot favorite Michael Gross of West Germany in the 200-meter butterfly at Los Angeles Olympics in a world record time of 1 minute 57.04 seconds. And I do have a video of this right here. I wonder, because it says he staged a withering finish.
Yeah.
So, like, was he intentionally staying behind until he just, really burns it at the end and then gets it?
Well,
Like, was he trolling?
no. I wouldn't. No, that's not what these guys do. They have a certain pace, and they want to keep it. And then their final kick. Apparently, he had a huge kick at the end.
Yeah. But watch this.
It's an illusion that his feet come out of the water extra high, but it's only because of the...
It's like this guy or something. Or no, what? Look at how... One of these two. I think that's him right there. I'm too far back. Hold on a second. Here we go. Right here.
If he wants to win this race, he's going to have to put on a push right now. McHale tied up in the prelim. He's starting to breathe every stroke right
There he
now.
is.
You can see that perfectly. Morales is still in composure right now. Breathing heavy in the stroke and it seems like he's doing it.
Yeah, the guy. Yeah, you picked him
Yeah,
out to begin with.
Yeah. Listen to the commentators. Like, they catch it when he starts pulling in. When he starts pulling ahead. So just watch.
He's going to have to put on a push right now. McHale tied up in the prelim. He's starting to breathe every stroke right now. You can see that perfectly. Morales is still in composure right now. Breathing heavy in the stroke and it seems like he's doing it.
Yeah, right at the end. That's a heck of a kick.
Yeah.
Man. Whoops. Well, if anybody wants to look that up, they can. 84, 17-year-old Australian swimmer. We got that one. 84 as well. Mary Lou Routon scored 10 for final vault to win the individual all-around competition in Los Angeles and become the first Stadium woman to win an Olympic gymnastics medal. Excellent.
Yeah, Mary Retina.
Yep. 84 Mexicans Ernesto Canto and Raul Gonzalez took the gold and silver medals in the 20-kilometer walk at the Los Angeles Olympics. 85 Nihilator, not Annihilator, but Nihilator, set harness pacing mile at 1 minute 49.6 seconds in East Rutherford, New Jersey. It's an interesting name, Nihilator.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find it here. 85. Oh, I'm way ahead of myself. Here it is, right there. 86, first NFL American Bowl exhibition game at London's Wembley Stadium. Chicago Bears, the Bears, defeated Dallas Cowboys 17-6. And weren't the Bears moving, or aren't they moving, or am I thinking of? No, it was the Bears that they're moving.
Could be. I'm not sure.
I think so. We also have Willie McCovey, Bobby Dorr, and Ernie Lombardi were inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. Ayo's time! Can I get through my life in negative 10 minutes?
Oh, man.
Detroit Tigers ace Jack Morris tied the American League record with 5 wild pitches in a 4-2 10-inning loss against the Kansas City Royals. Discovery in the Orbital Processing Facility is powered up, Discovery in the Orbital Processing Facility is powered up for SCS-26. I don't know. Oh, well. Because it's 87, that's why. Otherwise, I would have not read that article. It's kind of a whatever article. Yeah. 87 as well. Twins pitcher Joe Niekro, or how do you pronounce his name?
Joe Niekro.
Joe Niekro was caught with a file on the mound in an 11-3 win against the Angels. Ejected and suspended for 10 games. That is not good.
Scuffing the ball.
Yep. 88, David Skip Storch at the age of 37 swam 152.9 miles, 246 kilometers, of the Hudson River from Albany to New York City. Wow. 89, Cincinnati Reds set an MLB record for the most hits in the first inning of a game with 16, scoring 14 runs in an 18-1 rout of the Houston Astros. Wow. We also have George Velasquez won aboard Matty Bumpo in the third at Arlington International Racecourse to become only the 5th jockey in the world to ride 6,000 career winners. Wow. Lawrence Delisle, I guess, drove his 4 kids into a river. Wow. Wow. Terrible. Like, to kill them or something. I don't know.
Is that the woman I'm thinking it is? I'm not sure. Anyway,
Lawrence Delisle. I'm just going to... I thought that was one kid. No, this is a guy.
Oh, okay.
So dad who killed his kids by driving them.
Wow.
So,
wow. Move on, please.
Yeah. 1990, 98.8 degrees Fahrenheit, or 1 degree Celsius, in Shellenhaven, Gloucestershire, UK record. MLB Oakland A's, 89, I'm going back a year, I forgot to read this one. Outfielder Ricky Henderson set an American League record of 50 stolen bases in 9 of his first 11 big league seasons. New York Yankees rookie first baseman Kevin Moss set an MLB record by hitting 10 home runs in the fewest at-bats, 72. Radio Kuwait went off air due to the Iraq invasion. That would cause it. The U.S. announced commencement of naval forces in the Gulf region, and that all happened in the 90. Yeah. 91, giant victory driven by Jack Mosiev. So giant victory is a name, I guess, of a horse. Won the Hambletonian, securing the second $1 million purse in 22 days for Mosiev after winning the Meadowlands pace. So that has to be horse racing.
Yeah.
92, Unforgiven, directed by Clint Eastwood and starring Clint Eastwood, Gene Hackman, and Morgan Freeman, premiered in Los Angeles, later to receive the Academy Awards Best Picture of 93. That is an all-star cast. I got to see this. Wow. We also have Paramount Studios inaugurated New York Street on TV movie lot. What? What the heck is that? New York Street? Like, a street named New York Street? Oh, I guess so. New York Street. Studio tour. I don't know. Weird.
New York Street.
Yeah. 94, 102.4 degrees Fahrenheit, or 39.1 Celsius in Tokyo, Japan, their record. First Jordanian plane to fly over Israeli airspace. King Hussein was the pilot. So, about time. That used to be their own, airspace until they got invaded. 95, CNN and Espanol premiered. Oh, wonderful! So now, they can ensure that the Hispanics, or as they the liberals like to call them, the Latinx, for whatever reason, now they can ensure that they get brainwashed too with their crap. China News Network, Communist News Network, Clinton News Network, they're all viable and very accurate. 96, Macarena, hey, Macarena, by Los Del Rio started a 14-week run at number 1 on the U.S. single charts. Sales of 11 million copies worldwide led to its ranking as the number 1 greatest one-hit wonder of all time by VH1 in 2002. And, for those of you who do not know about the song, this is it. We all know this tune and everything. Now, do you know what the actual meaning of the Macarena is?
No.
Behind it? Behind the catchy chorus and the famous dance is a story that millions of fans never realized celebrating on the surface, yada yada. Macarena, the chorus repeats a simple invitation. Give your body joy. The beat is uplifting. The dance is easy enough for anyone to follow. Who is Macarena? The plot. Infidelity during military service. It's about being a slut. It's celebrating fulfilling your physical needs without actually being loyal to a man. You know, it's all about a woman just jumping from pole to pole. That's all it's about. It's celebrating being a whore. Isn't that disgusting? Absolutely disgusting. Just absolutely disgusting. Macarena meaning. I'll put that in there. Disgusting. So. 96 as well, U.S. General William F. Garrison accepted responsibility for outcome of the 93 raid in Somalia and retired from military service. And that reminds me, like, on top of, going back to the Macarena, didn't it said, during military service? So not only, is your man off and risking their life, but you're not even, being loyal to him while he's doing that. So, so that's even worse. 97, Manchester United defeated Chelsea 4-2 on penalties to win the Charity Shield after a bad-tempered 1-1 draw at Wembley. Orad El Had and Mezouara massacre in Algeria killed between 40 to 76 villagers. Other source says the Oued El Had and Mezouara massacre in Algeria, a total of 116 villagers were killed, 40 in Oued El Had and 76 in Mezouara. So 2 different areas and all that stuff. Terrible. Sky Tower opened in Auckland, New Zealand, standing at 328 meters or 1,076 feet, thank you, and is the tallest freestanding structure in the southern hemisphere. And there it is right there.
Yeah, look at that.
Sky Tower in Auckland, New Zealand. Yeah. Beautiful structure.
Listen, I got to go make run an errand.
All right.
So I'm going to take off.
All right. Thank you for joining.
You betcha. And good luck on finishing the show.
Thank you. Yep. 98, Irish band Boyzone released their best-selling single No Matter What, composed by Andrew Lloyd Webber and Jim Steinman. 98, the Oval hosted its first competitive cricket match played under floodlights in London as the home team Surrey lost to Sussex by 8 wickets in the day-night 40-over fixture. I'm going to image search this really quick because I looked this up earlier and it looked really interesting. Here's cricket grounds with some lights on. It just looks pretty cool. 99, Stadium country music singer Patsy Cline was posthumously awarded a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and I want to remind people that those stars, that's satanic rituals. Like Satan and his followers, when they kicked out of heaven, they're fallen angels, fallen stars. Hollywood, the wood from the holly tree, used in witchcraft and other pagan rituals and beliefs. Look at what the Epstein thing. Start putting these pieces together yourself. I'm not going to tell you what to think. I'm just going to give you the ammo, on what to put together. Stars in Hollywood. It's a satanic ritual. 99, Arsenal Football Club completed a huge signing coup, snapping up ace French striker Thierry Henry for an estimated fee of £11 million from Italian club Juventus. In the year 2000, England cricket wicketkeeper Alex Stewart became only the 4th batsman to score a century, 105, in his 100th test. During the 3rd test against the West Indies at Old Trafford, cricket is starting to sound like baseball with that. They're recording everything. That's weird. We also have South Africa's Truth and Reconciliation Commission's Amnesty Committee granted amnesty to Kernick Ndlovu, the KwaZulu-Natal leader of the African National Congress, the ANC, and the United Democratic Front, the UDF, for committing sabotage during December of 1961 and June 1963 near Durban. 2001, The Princess Diaries, starring Anne Hathaway in her film debut, was released nationwide. We also have Olympic champion Gezra Abira of Ethiopia became the first athlete to achieve the Olympics World Championship Marathon double, running 2 hours, 12 minutes, 42 seconds to defeat Kenya's Simon Biwott by just 0.1 seconds in the Edmonton World Championships. Running for over 2 hours, and you beat him by 1/10 of a second? Wow, that's wild. 2001 as well, U.S. President George W. Bush signed into law the Iran and Libya Sanctions Act, ILSA, Extension Act of 2001, 2002, Bob Dylan returned to the Newport Folk Festival for the first time since his controversial electric set in 1965. And I still want that hat. 2004, Messenger spacecraft launched from Cape Canaveral. That's pretty cool. We also have St. Louis batsman Albert Pujols became the first player in MLB history to hit at least 30 home runs in each of his first 4 seasons as the Cardinals defeated Montreal 10-6. The pedestal of the Statue of Liberty reopened after being closed since the September 11, 2001 attacks. So, just a couple of years, 3 years later, or almost 3 years exactly, give it another month or so. But yeah, good old Statue of Liberty pedestal. I've been on this island. I have not been in it because I was there actually in 2000, the summer of 2003, 2004. Yeah, the summer of 2000. Yeah, the summer of 2004. Okay, but it was just before this. I just missed it. So, 2005, President Maria Ould-Sid Ahmad Taya of Mauritania was overthrown in a military coup while attending the funeral of King Fahd in Saudi Arabia. How conniving. 2006, Barry Bonds' 715th MLB home run ball, which moved him past Babe Ruth for the second all-time, fetched $220,100 at an auction. All right. 2006 as well. So the baseball was sold. That's what we're talking about. Brazilian champ car driver Cristiano de Mata crashed into a deer testing at Road America, Wisconsin. Seriously injured but returned to racing in 2008. What happened to the deer, I wonder? Probably dead. 2007, former deputy director of the Chilean secret police Raul Ichiriga was captured after having been on the run following a conviction for kidnapping. 365 more days later, 2008, Morgan Freeman was injured in an automobile accident near Ruralville, Mississippi, when his car flipped over several times on the highway. Yikes. 2010, widespread rioting erupted in Karachi, Pakistan, after the assassination of a local politician, leaving at least 85 dead and at least 17 billion Pakistani rupees in damage, or $200 million equivalent. 2012, Canadian Missy Franklin swam a world record 2 minutes 4.06 seconds to win the 200-meter backstroke gold medal at the London Olympics. Canadian super swimmer Michael Phelps won the 100-meter butterfly in London to take his all-time Olympic gold medal tally to a record 17. That just reminds me. Hold on a second. I gotta show this to you. Space Olympics. Michael Phelps, believe it or not, makes a appearance here in a Saturday Night Live sketch from whatever this band was called. Forgot what it was called here. Where is it? Where is it? Not that one. There you are. Good old Michael Phelps. There he is right there. In the Space Olympics. What else do we got here? 2012 as well. United Nations General Assembly reproached the United Nations Security Council over its lack of action in Syria, so now they're infighting. 2014, Alex Puccio ascended Jade in Rocky Mountain National Park, becoming the 4th woman to climb V14, who was the first. If you're not first, you're last. And, 4th place, you're not even a bronze, dude. Who cares? 2014 as well, at least 13 Palestinians reported killed in ongoing air raids and tank shelling by Israel. Here we go again. The Israeli Offense Forces removed much of their ground forces from the Gaza Strip following the destruction of 32 tunnels built by Hamas and other militants. Yeah, sure they were. A 6.1 magnitude earthquake killed at least 617 people and injured more than 2,400 in Yunnan, China. The genocide of Yazidis by ISIL began. 2015, Chilean-born author Isabel Allende received the U.S. Presidential Medal of Freedom from Barack Obama. Why? Can someone let us know in the comment section why? Can you look that up? I would look it up right now, but we're already, so over our time. We gotta keep on going here. 2015, the Athens Stock Exchange reopened after a month and immediately fell by 22%. Oops. We also have U.S. President Barack Hussein Obama unveiled his clean power plan to cut greenhouse gases. and didn't do shit. What a surprise. International Olympic Committee approved baseball, softball, karate, sport climbing, surfing, and skateboarding being included in the sports program. For the 2020 games only, total number of sports will be 33 for those games. 2017, Brazilian soccer forward Neymar transferred from Football Club Barcelona to Paris Saint-Germain for a world record transfer fee of 222 million euros on a 5-year contract. Wow. 2017 as well, Camila Cabello released her single Havana, later received the biggest song worldwide in 2018, 19 million copies sold. Even Trump sang it. But he sings the entire song. I mean, like, you know, there's even this one section I'm going to go over here. I love this part here. That's a very weird looking trumpet, you know? Yeah, enough of that. So I'm going to watch this after the show again. This is just such an awesome... I like the song, and this is just hilarious. 2017 as well, rapper Kid Kroll was arrested and charged with the stabbing of a homeless man to death in New York City. But he probably got off because he's the right color. 2018, 2 burqa-clad men killed 29 people and injured more than 80 in a self-deletion attack on a Shia mosque in eastern Afghanistan. This is why we need to ban these clothes, not because I don't like that religion, but because it's a great disguise. Just, I don't care. Just ban it. 2019, suspected domestic terrorist shot and killed 22 and injured additional 24 at a Walmart store in El Paso, Texas. So other source says 23 people were killed and 22 injured in a mass shooting at Walmart in El Paso, Texas. So the shooter was white, because it showed it on my secondary source. It showed the picture of the shooter, so which means he has to be a Democrat, a liberal, someone of one. So it's always coming from one side. The bullets, never from the conservatives, never from people with heads screwed on their shoulders. Right? It's always from these nut jobs. 2020 or 2019, 600 protesters, including opposition leader Lyubov Sobol, were arrested in an election protest in Moscow, Russia. 2020, the number of Iranian Kung Flu deaths was triple that of government tally, showing 42,000 have died instead of 14,405, according to BBC Persian Service investigation. Fearmonger, fearmonger, fearmonger. You got just the science. I plead the fifth. Trust the science. And Spain's former king Juan Carlos announced he will go into exile abroad amid his implication of a corruption inquiry. 2021, 132 wildfires in Turkey's southern coastal Magavet district burned 1,789 hectares of land in 6 days, killing 8 people. So, yeah, yikes. I'm going to image search this really quick just to show. I mean, once you've seen one major fire, you've seen them all. So, but yeah, here's some images of that fire. I'm not sure if that was it. Just out here in the wilderness, smoke plumes. I mean, as I said, once you've seen one fire, you've seen them all. I mean, how much uniqueness can a fire look? We also have Hawaii's largest wildfire on record. The Mana Road fire in South Kohala was finally being brought under control after burning through 40,000 acres. So let's look at this one here. This is the whole fire right there. It burned over all that whole area and all that stuff. There it is, embering along the freeway and all that stuff. Wow, look at that. Just dark patch of land. Moving on up to 2021 as well, Jamaican athlete Elaine Thompson-Herah won 200-meter gold in Tokyo to become the first female to claim the 100-200 meter double at consecutive Olympic Games. Karsten Wartholm of Norway ran the first sub-46-second 400-meter hurdles in a world record of 45.94 seconds to claim the gold medal at the Tokyo Olympics. So at least we broke one barrier here today. Pardon me, like you were talking about that 10-second barrier a long time ago. Well, we broke a 46-second barrier with this. New Zealand canoeist Lisa Carrington won her third straight Olympic K1 200-meter title at the Tokyo Games. Also won K2 500 meter for her fourth Olympic gold medal. Singer Tony Bennett celebrated his 95th birthday with Lady Gaga in the first of 2 farewell performances at Radio City Music Hall in New York City. What a terrible way to celebrate your birthday. 2022, 48% of Mexico's states are experiencing drought, with conditions acute in Monterrey, where authorities delivered 9 million liters of water daily to 400 neighborhoods after taps run dry. That's terrifying. Ascent skyscraper in Milwaukee was certified as the world's tallest timber building at 25 stories or 86.6 meters, 284 feet tall. So if you look at this skyscraper, it doesn't look any different than any other normal skyscraper, except you get to this part here, all of this, it doesn't look like concrete because all of that is wood. That is wood. You know? Wow. That's amazing. You know, I'm gonna image search this really quick. You know, Ascent Skyscraper is the name. So, you know, this is it. After it's all said and done, it just looks like any other normal building. But now you will not be remiss to know that the skeleton of this building is not concrete, it's not metal, it's wood. That's awesome. So, I mean, here's the interior. Look, it's not concrete, it's not metal, it's wood. 2022, cells of recently deceased pigs were brought back to life by researchers at Yale University, with significant implications for organ transplant and stroke sufferers, as well as ethical questions over the definition of death. We're playing God too much. This is getting too much. 2023, Alan Silvestri and Glenn Ballard's musical Back to the Future, the musical, based on the 1985 Robert Zemeckis film and starring Roger Bart and Casey Lakes, opened at the Winter Garden Theater in New York City. President Donald Trump pled not guilty to criminal conspiracy charges aimed at subverting the 2020 presidential election at an arrangement in Washington, D.C. 2023, Phoenix Mercury guard Diana Taurasi became the first WNBA player to reach 10,000 points as she scored 42 points in a 91-71 win over the Atlanta Dream at Footprint Center, Phoenix, Arizona. Isn't this when they were denying what's-her-face, Caitlin Clark or something? Caitlin Clark, you know, has been denied so many things. She's the greatest, you know, woman basketballer of all time, I think. 2023, singer Lizzo, where is she? Denied allegations made in a lawsuit by 3 of her former dancers of creating a hostile work environment. Man, dude, not only was she morbidly obese, but she was just disgusting in every way. You know, she mistreated people so badly. 2023, major floods hit parts of Slovenia. Wonder if there's any deaths, displaced, damage, cost, you know. 2024, Stadium gymnast Simone Biles won the vault final for her 3rd gold medal of the Paris Olympics and career's 7th gold medal over 3 games. Stadium swimmer Kaylee Lineage tied Soviet gymnast Larisa Latiana as the most decorated female Olympian of all time when she won her 4th consecutive 800-meter in Paris, her 9th individual gold medal. Canadian swim star Summer McIntosh won her 3rd gold medal at the Paris Olympics, where she won the 200-meter individual medley in 2 minutes 6.56 seconds. She was also in the 200-meter butterfly and 400-meter IM champion. Canadian swimmers Summer McIntosh, we got that one. Didn't we already talk? Yeah, we did. Won the 200-meter individual medley for her 3rd gold medal of the Paris Olympics, becoming the first Canadian Olympian to win 3-in-1 games. Well, so this is very much connected. So let me fix this really quick. So connected. So in a major upset in athletics, Julian Alfred edged race favorite Shari Richardson of the U.S. for the women's 100-meter gold medal at the Paris Olympics, St. Lucy's first ever Olympic medal. Excellent. And 2025, just this time last year, 3 articles remaining. We have an estimated 300,000 protesters marched across the Sydney Harbour Bridge, Australia, in support of Palestine, calling for a permanent ceasefire in Gaza, the largest protest in Sydney's history. This will never stop until you get Israel to stop. You know? There will never be liberation until, you stop letting them being oppressors. 2025, Krasnodar volcano in Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula erupted for the first time in 600 years, possibly triggered by the 8.8 magnitude earthquake by Russia a few days earlier. Could be. That sounds very plausible. And last but not least, MLB Speedway Classic. Atlanta Braves defeated Cincinnati Reds 4-2 before the largest crowd for a regular season baseball game at the Bristol Motor Speedway in Bristol, Tennessee. How large was the crowd? And I'm going to let that be the final challenge to the viewers. I'm just going to do a surface level scratch of this article. Here we go. Just to see if it shows me anything. Speedway Classic. They're just telling me about all this stuff. So if anybody can let us know in the comments section what the crowd was, the largest crowd apparently, that'd be swell. Anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar in the description below for any links that you may find interesting, including not limited to all things Omni Coalition and all that stuff. These links will appear down there a few minutes after the end of the live stream, so hit refresh in about 5-10 minutes. They should be there. Anyway, the code word for today, let us know that you're still watching, is absentee, because the golden loon is MIA, so just put in absentee in the comment section. Let us know that you're still watching up until this point. Anyway, a lot of history has and continues to be made on a daily basis. We can only bring you a portion between two sources in this hour and 35 minutes we've been going on. All 45 pages of this document we have gone through. So yeah, be proud of yourself, anybody who's watched this from beginning to end. I mean, I've been here, maybe you have been here. So for your dose of past events daily, we stream at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. For all of you and all of us, I'm Xander. We had the Golden Loon here, and you, of course, are you. And until you catch us next time, whenever it is, wherever it is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs and subscribe. Toodles!